Today we're going to review the Slypod E by Gudsen MOZA. So Slypod E, Slypod, a quirky name at first, and I think it's a combination of two different things, a slider and a monopod, because that's exactly what it is. I want to suggest to check the timestamps in the description tab to find the right subject we're covering today for you. Let's start from the price of the Slypod E. In these days you can find it on Amazon for euros 299, link in the description tab. How about the unboxing? What does it come with? The Slypod E comes in a white box with the logo and the photo of the gear, of course, and then you will find inside the box a really nice black case. That's a travel case if you want to travel around and commute with the gear. It's actually very nice and very handy, I guess. Inside the case we can find instruction manual, of course, a couple of threads, adapter threads, one which is a 1/4 to 1/4 inch screw and the other one is 1/4 to 3/8 inch. We find a USB-C cable to charge your device even on the go. We will find a small tripod, here it is, that you can attach through an adapter to the Slypod E at the bottom of the Slypod E. So at this point you can use the gear as a monopod. At the top of the Slypod we have another adapter to which you can attach a ball head. Unfortunately you need to purchase the head separately. As you can see here I have a big video head, and actually you can check the tripod and the head I'm using right here. We're going to talk about it in a second. Let's talk about the dimensions of the Slypod E. When it's closed, completely closed, it measures 58.5 centimeters. The expanded length is 99.6 centimeters. The max diameter, which is here at the bottom of the Slypod, this measures 5.4 centimeters and the total weight is 920 grams. So just below a kilo. Let's talk about the payload, which is the weight that the gear can actually support. When used in vertical mode, the Slypod E can support a camera up to 9 kilos. When used in horizontal mode, as you can see right now, it can support up to 4 kilos. Let's talk about battery. The Slypod E features an internal battery which gives to the Slypod a life of 2 hours. As I mentioned, it can be powered also on the go with an external power bank. The charging time is around 90 minutes through a USB-C cable. Now let's start from scratch and I'm going to show you how to set the Slypod E together. And there it is, that's how you find the Slypod in the box. So what you want to do first is to use the thread under the Slypod and attach it to your tripod. We could also attach the tripod, the small tripod given with the Slypod. So you just attach it on the same thread, but I don't recommend to do so. It's not stable at all. The camera and the Slypod will move, so it's kind of useless to use it that way. So I definitely recommend a big and solid tripod. So let's mount it on my tripod right here. Now, as I'm using the tripod horizontally, first of all, you want to use the adapter on the head. You just slide it in here and you lock it into place. Also, you want to screw the adapter for extra safety, and you're going to place your head, you're going to screw your ball head or whatever fluid head you have just on top of the adapter. And you're ready to place the camera on top of your Slypod E. Now, if you want to use the Slypod vertically as well, as I mentioned, there's another adapter that you can screw at the bottom of the monopod and also screw in the small tripod, and you're ready to set it vertically too. How do we operate the Slypod E? It's quite straightforward. There's a power button at the bottom of the monopod. You just press it for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. This white wheel is actually a light, so it will light up and the Slypod is ready to go. Also here you will find 2 buttons, plus and minus. With the plus, your Slypod will start to extend. With the minus, it will decrease its size. So let's check it out. That was the plus. With the minus, I'm coming back. There's an app called MOZA Master through which you can set up and actually use and command the Slypod E. You need to activate the Bluetooth on your mobile phone and you're kind of ready to go. In my case, to be honest, I couldn't manage to make it work, so I will get back to MOZA and understand what's happening right there. But I've checked other tutorials and you can do time lapses. Well, you can do time lapses even without the app, so that's a very cool features. But you can do also loop modes, or you can reproduce the same movement over and over. So if you want to do some effects in post-production, you can reproduce the same movements, making sure the subject will be always on the same spot. There are also different speeds of movement, so you can start by pressing only once the plus button and the Slypod will start move very slowly. You can press it again and will start to speed up, and so on. So you got 4 or 5 different speeds here. How can we use the Slypod E? Well, there's different options. It's quite versatile actually. So we're gonna recreate some dolly shots. It can be a forward shot, but if I place my camera sideways, I can now achieve sideways dolly shots. If you had a second head that you can place on your tripod and you can tilt the head, then in that case you can use the Slypod E as a crane. So you can tilt the Slypod E up and down, but you can also extend it. So you will have 2 movements in one, which is quite cool. And of course you can use it vertically. So if you use it vertically, once again, I don't recommend to use the small tripod given with the Slypod E, but I recommend to have a solid tripod and just tilt the head you have on the tripod vertically. You can achieve multiple shots because you can also tilt the camera down. You could use the Slypod E under slang, so under the tripod, and you could take tracking shots facing the ground. You might ask also about the focus. How do we focus when using the slider? You can achieve a nice focus in different ways. First of all, if you have autofocus on your camera, but I'm one of those guys that don't recommend to use autofocus, so I like manual focus, and you can actually use the manual focus even when the slider is moving. So be gentle, you will get the best shots with manual focus. Another way to achieve great focus on the Slypod E is to have a follow focus system, and actually you can check the MOZA one in the description tab and stay tuned on my channel because I'm gonna review one of them very soon. I want to mention a few pros I found about the Slypod E. First of all, versatility. As I mentioned, you can use it as a monopod and as a slider. So you've got 2 things in one. One works better than the other. I think the slider works better than using it as a monopod. But if you have a nice tripod, again, you can definitely achieve nice shots even vertically. Also bear in mind, if you use it as a monopod, it's a quite short monopod. So basically you can reach your hips height. I'm not sure how useful that can be, but that's something to keep in mind. Another good feature to me compared to a normal slider is that when you use a slider and you place the camera forward, usually you have your track in the frame, but with the monopod actually you don't have anything in front of the lens, so the shot will be clean, and that's really cool. It's very portable. As I mentioned, it's 58 centimeters. You can put it in your backpack without the case, even without the case, and just carry it around. You can do time lapses to enhance your videos, and also you can film vertically. Let's talk about some of the cons of the Slypod E. First of all, it's very noisy. Check this out. So you don't want to use this in silent environments. If you do weddings or ceremonies, events, whatever, I don't think you're gonna use that in full speed at least. The Slypod E doesn't come with a head, so if you want to place your camera on top of the Slypod, basically you can't. So you need to buy separately and purchase separately a head before you start using the Slypod. Otherwise you can just screw the camera here on the adapter, but you won't be able to move the camera, to tilt the camera up and down, so the tripod would be quite useless because the camera will just be facing down. Once again, not great. If you want to use this Slypod vertically as a monopod with a small tripod supplied with the gear, this Slypod will start to shake and you will not get any good material, so I wouldn't use it vertically in general. And I also don't recommend to use this Slypod manually because you will not be able to take steady shots at all. So I guess from the pros and cons you understood what I think about the Slypod. If you haven't, well, I'm gonna give you my conclusion. I wouldn't use it as a monopod ever, but I would use it as a slider on top of a very solid tripod with a very solid head as well, as I have right here. I would love to recommend the Slypod E to travel vloggers, photographers and videographers because the size is actually portable. The issue is that you want to mount it on a very solid tripod, and usually very solid tripods are quite heavy and not very portable. So that's the downside. I'm not sure if that's for you, if you are a travel photographer or travel videographer, but it can be a good option if you're actually carrying a kind of a heavier and sturdier tripod already. I definitely recommend for food and products videos if you are in a studio, but also if you're vlogging and if you want to film yourself nearby your studio or your house, so your location, which means you will not have to commute very much carrying a lot of gear. Overall, I think it's a nice product. I'm not sure if I would buy for my type of job, but the quality is great, it's very versatile, you can achieve a lot of different shots. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this review. Stay tuned on my channel because I've got a lot of content coming out and also more collaborations with camera gear companies. So you definitely want to stay right here to enhance and improve your video making skills. I hope so. I hope you will. Go and check my online courses down here in the description tab or right here in the card. And I can't wait to see you in the next video as always.
Seems all good times come and go your way. Child memories fall under rolling.